Hello, everyone. It's time to eat, drink, and be merry with your hosts, Lisa and Nancy.
Welcome to Big Blend Radio's Eat, Drink, and Be Merry show. So you know that every first Saturday we welcome back travel writer Linda Kissam. You know who she is. She's the food, wine, and shopping diva. She always joins us to talk about her latest travels, her upcoming wine tasting celebrations. Wherever she goes around the world, she has a good time shopping as well. But today she's brought a special guest on to talk about what is a really extraordinary experience. We're talking about a fully immersive 360-degree experience with Princess Cruises. And so I encourage you to keep up with Diva Linda at her website. It's allingoodtaste.info. Also read her article about the experience on blendradioandtv.com. So first, before we bring our special guest on, Diva Linda, welcome back. How are you?
Thank you very much. I'm good. Actually, it's raining in Arizona. Who knew?
Oh, wow. Get the surfboard out and dodge the saguaros. That's it.
Boy,
you may need a Princess Cruise to take you to, through the canals, of Arizona, go down the Colorado River. I love it. I love it. Well, I love that you had an extraordinary experience, and we're very excited to welcome John Padgett. He's the president of Princess Cruises and chief experience and innovation officer for Carnival Corporation. So welcome to the show, John. How are you?
Thank you. Doing great. Appreciate being on today.
Hey, we're excited about this. This experience, we were talking about this earlier. We're going, and Linda, you said something about it being kind of like Disney-esque, but for adults, And then I found out, well, yes, John knows about Disney. He's had his history there. See, so there's this history, but from the experience Diva Linda talks about in her article, it sounds like we're doing one of those immersive art, things like the Da Vinci and the Van Gogh and the Frida Kahlo experience with the art. But this is, explain this, because this is super cool.
You know what? I think you just described it best. It is absolutely super cool. And you also used the word earlier, which is the best word we could come up with to describe the 360 experience, which is extraordinary. I think that people talk about immersive experiences all the time these days, but are they really truly immersive? And often immersive experience, people start to talk about technology, but that is not the case with 360. 360 is truly immersive to where you're having the stories of people, of food, of regions, and the story is being told by the authentic people in that region that has certain elements, whether it's a food or it's a herb or it's a scent, and then you're experiencing that in their context and real time, all in 360. And so there's truly nothing I've ever seen like it. I think that you start to see projection and some VR effects in some restaurants, but they get focused on the technology. And here, you do not think about technology for 1 second. You're totally connected to the people and the places and cultures that are kind of exuding from the Mediterranean for hours. And it literally blows your mind. So I welcome everyone to come experience it.
Linda, tell us a little bit about your feeling, because you were talking about the man with the white, there he is in the background with the white gloves. It's like you're ringling, like, now something else is going to happen. But you were like, you had bees and lavender,
all sorts of stuff. I just think of a room, an enclosed room that has sort of white walls, 360 degrees around you. And you think when you get in there, oh, okay, well, probably they're going to project something. But the funniest thing happens. You get assigned a seat. And I thought, well, what are they doing that for? But I went to my seat. I barely got down to my seat, and it pops up and says that the place setting in front of me pops up and says, "Welcome, Linda." I thought, oh, here we go. This is really interesting. And then soon a man comes in, and of course he's elegant and he's wonderful and he's masterful and he's all dressed up and he has white gloves and it's just fantastic. And you soon learn. So he sort of comes in between the room, the two halves, And you know that when he comes in, because he comes and goes, that something wonderful is going to happen, especially when he sort of raises his hand. He doesn't do it like a wand. It's just sort of very elegant, and he's very captivating, and he's captivated by what he's doing. And I think that probably helps everybody to just go with it. And then pretty soon you see, oh my gosh, the walls all around you are filled with countries, food, wine. Now, I've been to every one of the Mediterranean cities that they feature, Barcelona, I think, and some others. And so for me, it was like visiting with old friends. So you go to a country and they give you a meal from that country. So well prepared. I think there were 7 courses. It was unbelievable. And because it goes so quickly, there's 90 minutes, but because it goes so quickly, you never have time to sort of get bored or to stop your focus. You are constantly bombarded with food, wine, pictures.
That's my kind of bombardment.
Well, the funny thing was, I'm, of course, media. This was a press trip I was at, and a couple of us were going, oh, this is a long trip to get here. I certainly hope that, because no details were given to us, I certainly hope this is worth our time. Oh, my goodness. Not only was it worth our time, we started calling all of our other IFTWA members that could possibly come to see this. This is just extraordinary. And I think whoever thought of this was really amazing. So you're 90 minutes of fully immersive food, wine, fabulous wine, the maitre d' guy, and one person, one wait staff is assigned to 2 people. So you never are waiting. You are never, they watch you to see if you're having problems with anything or it wasn't quite what you wanted or whatever. The very last thing that happens is they're talking about France and lavender, and your placemat becomes bees crawling all over, and your flowers are popping up and
moving. The flowers are
moving. Everything's moving. Oh, it's fabulous. And then before you know it, down comes a lavender scent. You want to talk about fully immersive, and the big surprise at the end. Oh, I gave it away. Maybe I wasn't supposed to do that. Sorry. Sorry. Whoops. We can cut that out.
Because you still have to experience it. So you can describe it, but unless you experience it, there's nothing like it. And, I think that, Linda, you do an amazing job describing it, because I take the Disney-esque as a compliment, because they're masters of storytellers. But the difference is this is authentic. This is real. So this is not fantasy. It's not fake. It's not suspension of your belief. It's actually an immersion of your belief in an understanding of authentic experiences, whether you're in Santorini or you're in Provence or you're in Barcelona. You have now been there. And so I can't think of another way, other than going to the physical places. And it may not be that good when you're there physically, but I think that, it's really proven to be truly extraordinary. And when people call it a dining night experience, I'm like, it's not even, that isn't even remotely get close to what it truly is. It is an extraordinary experience, as Linda says, and truly immersive. And the connections you feel with the people, because they know their story. And these are people that were hand selected. It wasn't like we just went and found, B-roll or content that we purchased and sliced together. We went and found the people that cultivate multiple generations of this particular ingredient or flour or milk or, whatever it is. It's not just, it's decades and decades and decades and generations of experiences that have been cultivated in this story and then brought to life within this little venue, all within 90 minutes. And it's priceless. You can't buy your way to the experience. You have to be invited to the experience.
Wow. Well, how do you get invited? That's what I want to know. How do you get invited? And is it specific cruises there, or what? Like, I want to go. I know if people listening are going, I want my invitation. We
Well,
want an invitation.
it's so special, and that's the reason why we just couldn't put a price on it. And we said it's priceless. And so what we did is we made it the benefit of our suite guests on the Enchanted Princess or Discovery Princess. So if you are on the Discovery Princess or Enchanted Princess and you're staying in one of our suites, you are entitled to be to come see 360 and be invited. You're basically invited to the 360 Extraordinary Experience. Or if you happen to be on the Discovery or Enchanted Princess and you did not know you needed a suite, you can actually book a future cruise with this suite, and you can go have that experience on that ship as well. So there's two ways to do it. So it's accessible, but it's not actually for sale. Because, then it's like, is it worth it? Is it not worth it? How much would you charge? Oh, I would charge $500. No. We don't want people thinking about price. We want them to think about it's very special, very unique. And that's the only thing that they should be thinking about is, hey, this is an experience of a lifetime.
They talk about, people traveling now. Everything is about creating memories. We've really changed how we are as travelers, and we keep hearing the word authentic travel, right? Transformational, but it's really about creating these amazing memories. And I think for people, I even think for first-time travelers, this would be like, could you imagine this is your first cruise you go on and you go on this experience? Like, that would be pretty epic.
I mean, and when people, experience is all about creating this emotional connection. And especially someone that, like myself, that have had so many experiences across all these different cruise lines and Disney and Princess and all of our ships and all of our countries, I can tell you unequivocally, there's nothing like this. And you're emotionally overwhelmed after having this experience, which is what Linda was really sharing.
Yeah, it's quite magical, actually. Once you get into this, it's like magic is happening, adult magic is happening all around you. And I can say this about the experience. As I said, I've been to every one of the places that is in the 360 experience. And it was just like going on a press trip. Everybody says, oh, you have so much fun when you go on a press trip and you get to see the insider stuff more than if you just went by yourself, even more than if you booked a tour. This is really, if you ever thought about going to foreign places, foreign lands, Spain, Barcelona, Provence, you almost don't have to go. This was, I'm serious, I'm looking at it, and you've got, Vespas zooming around the room on the walls, and you've got...
Oh, that's so cool.
Oh, and you hear the noise, and you can almost feel the motion. There were a couple times there I thought, whoa, because it goes around, the Vespa goes around the room, and then...
And you can vibrate, you can feel it.
You can feel it. And I don't know how you did that, and I don't know how you figured that this would be a good thing, but I would take your cruise just to experience that. I mean, it's really an amazing, of all the things I've done, and Lisa knows, of all the world places I've gone.
And she's ridden a camel through the desert of Wadi Rum in Jordan. So,
it's going to be our new...
Eva was on a camel.
360, because she's actually experienced everything.
Yeah,
so this
is magic.
I'm sure people who just love to travel, and sometimes when you get there, you're so tired it takes you 2 days, right? And then when it's almost ready for you to go home, it's 2 days of preparing to go home. It was so relaxing, and everything came to me, and the food was so darn good, and that your maitre d' he is so smooth. How many of him do you have? Because he was really something.
Well, and I think the even though it's not a dining experience, the food is exceptional because the food and wine is all sourced authentically from the specific individuals that are telling you the story of that food or that ingredient while you're consuming it. And because this location, it's hidden on the ship, but I can tell you that the proximity to the kitchen is just feet. And so when you have exceptional service all real time, the preparation of the food itself is flawless because it's time to the second and delivery. So there's no compromise on any dimension of excellence in the food itself.
Oh yeah, I love the fact that sometimes when you go to these things and you have a bunch of people in a room, they start serving on one side of the room, and then finally come, by the time it gets to you, you're over it, whether you've eaten it or not. This is everybody, really, everybody.
She's
gets
a diva.
food at the same time. You're just, oh my goodness, you're just so well taken care of. And I've eaten in the best restaurants ever. So, but it's hard, when you go to a group setting, anything where they're serving food, it can be awful. And it can sort of, put you off the whole experience. But this, no, you're just going and going. You're going with the program. There isn't time for you to worry about what might be wrong. There's nothing wrong, but there's no thing about, Jesus, am I ever going to get that wine? Oh my gosh, am I ever going to do this or that? But, it was just, and one of the parts of it, the underwater wine.
Yes.
Wine is in
What?
I can't tell you. You have to go. I don't want to give
Come
that
on.
one away.
I want wine under.
It is something that I did not know, and I had been researching it. And darned if you can't do it in the U.S. yet. So, but when I go back over to Europe, I'm getting that underwater wine. That was brilliant. Whoever thought of that one was absolutely.
Where did this come from? I mean, it's when we talk about innovation, I was talking about the art shows where this sounds, like we're talking about true immersive and true innovation. I mean, is this came from one spark of an idea and then go like, how do we do this? I mean, where did this come? Are you allowed to tell us?
Oh, I can tell you is that the Princess team truly has some of the best experienced creators in the world. We have great ships, we have great venues, and we have people that understand how magnificent the stories of the world are. And what really created this again was not the technology; it was, hey, in Santorini, we know someone that does this unique thing, and it's the only place in the entire world that's done. In Barcelona, there's this other element, and this is the only place it's ever done, and it's been done this way for 150 years. Off the Amalfi Coast, there's this, and so they went and looked at hundreds, maybe even thousands of places. What could be so unique? And then if you combine all these unique elements, then obviously the entire experience becomes, incomparable to anything else, because it's each little piece is unique and it's each grounded in authenticity and reality and something super special. The underwater wine, I won't get into details on it, but I'll tell you that is beyond unique. And it's something that, of course, as Linda mentioned, is not even available in the United States. And so it's because of relationships, because of knowing these stories, we work to get access to these things that other people just don't have, being a global cruise line with, decades and decades of local relationships.
See, but the wonderful thing about this underwater wine, not to give it away, but the bottle itself is so extraordinary. Just the bottle and the story of how the bottle came to be, the outside of the bottle came to be. It's a natural decoration that you would just never see. So I don't know. I think I'm going to Congress and lobby for this, because this has got to be. And in wine, I drink an awful lot of wine, and I would like to drink an awful lot of that wine. You had my attention at that. I'll tell you that. It was
and the bees.
And
the
bees. Yeah, because if you're sitting in,
I was like, how much
place,
wine did you have when you were writing this, Linda?
Well, and then you're at your place, and it's constantly changing. Your placemat is constantly changing. So if you go lean over and talk to the person next to you, and you're not watching, and you come back, which is me, and the bees are all over. I mean, it's sort of and they look like bees. They look like real bees. So I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It's so immersive, and I just wish it was a theme park. I mean, I can see now why some people get so loyal to Disney. It's not a ride, it's not a food, it is the experience. And this was an adult experience I won't forget ever. It was really
Well, move over Vegas.
Yeah, so if you ever need somebody to fill in, I want you to call me. I'll come running. It was
I want to do this. I want the underwater
You
wine.
need
I don't
to
know what
do
it's
this.
about, but I want to do the underwater wine.
Well, you're invited. You're invited.
Thank you. I definitely want to do this. Well, this is fantastic. So do you see, I mean, you've done this with, the Mediterranean. Is this just the beginning of what's to come for Princess with this experience?
It truly is, because the Mediterranean, we just thought was, Princess has some great Italian heritage, and our ships are built in Italy, and we have some great Italian chefs. But we are also, we're a global cruise line. So you can picture Alaska could be an amazing
Oh, wow.
forum for this. You could think about Northern Europe. You could think about Australia, New Zealand, and Asia. And so South America, there's so many different
You
ways.
can have an actual blooming onion for Australia.
Well, the one thing for sure is that the world is full of stories. It's full of uniqueness. You just have to go find it and really put that effort in to identify what make things special. And every region, as Linda knows, as she's traveled the world, has unique characteristics that just aren't anywhere else. And so we're going to use the extraordinary experience in the 360 as a platform to unleash the stories of the world. This just happens to be the Mediterranean, but the platform itself, meaning the venue, is 100% programmable and can stage any content, any experience in the same format, just different regions of the world with different stories. So we do think we fell into something pretty special here.
I'd like to ask you a technical question. From the time that you got with the producers of this to the time it was ready to go, how long did that take? So you met with the producers of the company and you said, this is what we want. And did it take 2 months? Did it take a year?
This was there's the technology that is embedded in facilitating that overall experience has been in the works for 5 or 6 years. The content itself was in production for about a year, and then the actual food that you're experiencing throughout took about 6 months to refine after we had identified the ingredients and elements with the stories that we wanted to include in our overall experience. So at some level, you could say it was in 6 years in the making. That from a content standpoint, I would say it took about a year.
Wow. Before you go, I wanted to ask you one thing. For someone deciding that they're going to get into the world of hospitality, and this is something I'm really going to study, and I'm going to go, maybe work for, apply to work for Princess Cruises. What tip would you give someone just getting started out that's really, into travel, but goes, I want to be on the other side of it too?
Well, I'll tell you, as the cruise industry and the cruise platform from a ship standpoint is so comprehensive that if you really have a passion for hospitality, there's no place better to have your, to have a career, because that could be in food, it could be in beverage, it could be entertainment, it can be in hotel, it can be technical and engineering, and it could be in navigation, it could be in propulsion systems or environmental systems. So truly, cruise ships are a fully integrated city with every aspect that you would experience in a city that works so much better together than any city does in the world, including fabricated cities like major destination casinos or theme parks, cruise ships are a next level of integration and orchestration because it's 24/7, 365, all engagement, all elements, all the time. So I would just encourage anyone interested in hospitality to consider the cruise industry as a good place to start. And that would go all the way from the creative elements through the culinary elements to the operational elements, all the way to technical and engineering. It's all available when you think about hospitality careers in the cruise industry.
Wow.
Hey, also they're mobile, and so the ability to experience cultures, I should not diminish that. There's nowhere in the world that you fuse cultures like happen on a cruise ship. We have over 50 nationalities just in our crew team that is partnering together, working together, convey an experience. And that just doesn't exist anywhere in the world while welcoming guests from anywhere in the world. So it's truly something special that I wish more of the world got to experience, because they would see that, it really doesn't matter where you're from. There's great people everywhere. It's just about making connections, getting to know each other, and facilitating conversations. And that's what happens on a cruise ship.
And food and wine helps.
I have one last question for you. Is there something brand new? I mean, this is brand new, but is there now, because you're doing these things 6 years out and so forth, is there something in development that, I don't know, you might want to share?
Well, I do. I would, and I would invite both of you to hopefully come sail on our next newest ship, which is the Sun Princess, and you'll be able to experience her in early winter 2024. And it is everything you saw on our Discovery Princess, which, we didn't spend too much talking about the rest of the ship, Linda, but Princess cruise ships are like 5-star epic experiences, hotels, best restaurants, best bars, best fitness centers, recreation, incredible pools, all hassle-free, personalized. I mean, it really doesn't get any better than it, but we do it at an incredible value for our guests. And then we're taking all that to the next level with the Sun Princess. And so we would certainly love to invite you to come experience it. And we are going to start revealing the individual experiences over the next year. So there'll be more for you to talk about. But no doubt, come see us on our next generation ship.
See, Diva Linda, that means you need to have Sun Princess shoes.
You're right. That calls for a new pair of shoes. Oh,
That's got to be sparkly and I love the name Sun Princess. Who doesn't like that?
Probably.
I want to go on the Sun Princess and have underwater wine. Like,
absolutely, Sun Princess underwater. You'll know that obviously Princess is the original love boat, and our brand is unique in the industry. We are an experience where anyone can feel like $1 million, and that's exactly what you experienced when you're in 360 from an extraordinary experience. Everyone feels welcome. Everyone feels special. It's individualized. We don't have lines. We don't have hassles. All that stuff has been worked out of our experience. And so really, it's, I think, the best hospitality experience on the planet for the value.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
You know what we could do? We could do a podcast or a live thing, go on there, and
I like that.
And every day we could do something new, because an hour just doesn't give you anything. Oh,
I think
we could do a floating podcast.
I think that you should take that, Lisa. You have the background in a 360. You could just sit in the 360 with Linda, and y'all could do a great podcast. So you should do that on the Enchanted Princess soon, because I know you've experienced.
That would be fun. Oh my God.
love it. I like any, floating to me is a really good thing, and I think more people need to do it because the world is stressed out. And by the time you guys have both, talked, I'm like, dude, we need to all just chill out. I want to feel special. We all want to be special. Come on, who doesn't want the specials? And adults definitely need specials. I think about people with anniversaries and all these these life-changing times. I mean, it's like, go and have fun. Exactly. We need to all feel special, because then the world will be a much happier, uncrabby place.
That's what we
So
need,
that's-
and that's what we're all about.
Love it. Love it. Thank you so much for joining us, John. We really appreciate it. Everyone, of course, go to princess.com and you can type in 360 experience and learn more, but also read Linda's article up on blendradioandtv.com and follow her at allingoodtaste.info. And of course, we're here with Diva Linda, and every first Saturday, she's here with us. And by the time she's done with the first Saturday conversation, she's off to buy another pair of shoes with sparkles. So keep up with us at Big Blend Radio. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Linda.
Take care.